There's a math rule that every single banker learns before they even get their first paycheck. It takes about 60 seconds to understand. And once you see it, you'll realize it's the real reason you can work hard, save responsibly, do everything right, and still feel like you're falling behind. Your bank isn't going to teach you this rule. Not because they're evil, but because their entire business model depends on you never doing this one calculation. So today, we're doing it together. Grab a coffee, because by the end of this video, you'll see your bank account completely differently. This is Alex. 26 years old, full-time job, no debt from partying or bad decisions. Alex pays bills on time, has a savings account, and even contributes to a 401k. On paper, Alex is doing everything the financial advice articles say to do. But Alex has a small credit card balance that never seems to shrink. And a savings account that, somehow, after 2 years, has barely grown at all. Alex isn't lazy. Alex isn't bad with money. Alex just never learned the one number that actually controls all of this. Here's the question almost nobody asks: what interest rate does my bank actually pay me on my savings? And what interest rate does it actually charge me on my debt? Most people couldn't answer that in under 10 seconds. And that gap, right there, is exactly where this story begins. Banks love telling you to save more and spend less. That advice isn't wrong. But it's incomplete on purpose, because it skips the part where they explain how the rate they pay you compares to the rate they charge you. That comparison is the entire game. So let's start with the rule itself. It's called the Rule of 72, and it's the single fastest way to know how long it takes money to double at any given interest rate. No spreadsheet, no calculator app. Just one number, divided by another. Here it is. Take 72, divide it by the interest rate, and that tells you roughly how many years it takes for that money to double. That's it. That's the whole formula. Bankers use this in their heads, in seconds, to instantly judge any deal. You're about to use it too. Let's apply it to Alex's savings account. Some of the biggest banks in the country still pay as little as 0.01% on a regular savings account. Take 72, divide it by 0.01. Are you ready for this number? 7,200 years. That's how long it would take that money to double, at that rate, if nothing else changed. Not 70 years. Not 700 years. 7,200 years. Alex's grandkids would still be waiting. Now let's flip to the other side. A lot of credit cards today run around 24% interest. Same formula. 72 divided by 24. This time, the answer is going to feel a lot more uncomfortable. 3 years. If that debt just sat there compounding with nothing paid toward it, it would double in 3 years. Not 7,000. 3. Read that gap again: 7,200 years to double your savings, versus 3 years to double your debt. Same math rule. Two completely different worlds. Take a breath. This isn't here to make you feel stupid. Nobody sat you down in school and taught you this. There was no class called How Your Bank Actually Profits from You. You're not behind because you're careless. You're behind because the system was never designed to explain itself. And here's the part that turns this from a frustrating fact into something you can actually use: that gap between 7,000 years and 3 years isn't random. It's not bad luck. It's the entire reason your bank exists. There's a name for it. It's called the spread. Your bank takes the money you deposit and pays you almost nothing for the privilege of holding it. Then, that same money gets lent right back out, to other people's credit cards, car loans, and personal loans, at a much higher rate. That difference, between what they pay you and what they charge everyone else, is called the net interest margin. It's not hidden in fine print. It's literally printed in every bank's annual earnings report. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's just math, sitting in plain sight. So think of it like two doors in the same building. Door 1. You put your money in, and you wait 7,000 years for it to double. Door 2, you borrow money, and it doubles in 3. Your bank built both doors. And they're hoping you only ever walk through door 1. Now here's where most people get blindsided, because there's a second force working against door 1, and it's called inflation. Even in a normal year, prices tend to rise around 3%. So that money sitting in savings isn't just growing slowly. It might actually be losing value. Picture a $5,000 emergency fund, sitting safely in a regular savings account for 10 years, barely earning anything. The number on the screen stays close to $5,000. But what that money can actually buy has quietly dropped by about a quarter. That's the cruel irony. The account everyone calls safe is the one quietly shrinking in real value. Meanwhile, the debt that everyone's terrified of doesn't care about inflation at all. It just keeps growing, in real dollars, no matter what's happening to prices around it. But here's a part that's even sneakier, and it explains why Alex's credit card balance never seems to move. It's hiding inside something that feels completely responsible: the minimum payment. When you pay just the minimum on a high-interest card, a huge chunk of that payment, sometimes most of it, goes straight to interest before it ever touches what you actually owe. You feel like you're paying it down. The balance barely agrees. That's the treadmill feeling. You're putting in real effort, real money, every single month, and the scenery barely changes. It's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's because the rate is doing the opposite of what you think it's doing. Okay. Deep breath. Here's the turn, the part where this stops being depressing and starts being useful. You now know something most adults never bother to learn: the rate is the whole story. Which means the rate is also exactly where you fight back. First move: that money sitting in a near 0% savings account doesn't have to stay there. High-yield savings accounts today are paying around 4 to 4.5%, often from the same kind of banks, just online ones, with zero extra risk to your money. Run the same formula. 72 divided by 4.5. 16 years to double, instead of 7,200. Same money. Same person. One decision. That's not a small upgrade. That's a completely different financial life, hiding behind one phone call. Second move, for the debt side. If you have more than one balance, stop spreading payments evenly. Put every extra dollar toward whichever one has the highest rate first. That's the one growing fastest against you, the one with the shortest doubling time. This isn't about which balance feels scariest or which one is smallest. It's about which rate is doing the most damage per year. Pay minimums on everything else, and throw everything extra at that one number. The order you attack debt in changes how fast you actually get free. And the third move is the one that lasts forever. Anytime someone offers you a loan, a credit card, an investment, anything with a percentage attached, run it through the rule of 72 in your head before you say yes. It takes 5 seconds, and it instantly shows you the real size of the deal. A low monthly payment car loan. A special offer store credit card. A friend's guaranteed investment tip. None of those phrases mean anything on their own. But the rate behind them, run through this formula, tells you everything in seconds. So Alex made 2 phone calls. One to move savings into a high-yield account. One to redirect extra payments toward the highest rate card. Nothing dramatic. No spreadsheet marathon. Just 2 decisions, based on one formula, that most people never bother to run. And something shifted that had nothing to do with the dollar amount. For the first time, Alex wasn't just hoping things would get better. Alex understood exactly why they would, and by how much, and on what timeline. That certainty changes how heavy money feels. Here's the bigger truth underneath all of this. Your bank isn't your enemy. It's a business, running a completely legal, completely public math rule, and it's counting on most people never looking closely enough to notice. The moment you notice, the rule stops working against you by default. So here's what I actually want you to take from this. You're not bad at money. You were just never shown the one number that explains all of it. Now you have it. 72 divided by the rate. That's all the bank ever had on you, and now you have it too. This isn't a one-time fix. Every account you ever open, every loan you ever consider, every investment someone pitches you for the rest of your life, this formula applies. You just gained a permanent filter that most people go their entire lives without. You didn't fail at money. You were just handed an incomplete instruction manual, and somehow expected to figure out the missing pages on your own. You just found one of them. That's not nothing. That's the start of a completely different relationship with every dollar you touch from here on. And if this rule was new to you, it's new to someone you know too. A sibling. A roommate. A friend who keeps wondering why their savings never seem to move. You explaining this to them in 2 minutes could save them years. If this video changed even slightly how you think about your bank account, that's exactly why this channel exists. Subscribe if you want more of the things banks, lenders, and financial companies hope you never stop to calculate. And send this to the one person who needs to hear it today. 72 divided by the rate. 5 seconds. One question. A completely different financial future. That's the rule your bank was hoping you'd never bother to ask about. Now you know it. Use it. See you in the next one.